Welcome back, crafty friends. It's Alicia of the Call Me Crafty Al YouTube channel, and today I am here with a non-crafty video. I have mentioned a few times lately that I haven't been able to craft as much as I would like because we've been working on some remodeling. The project that we have just tackled and are almost complete with is my very own library. So today I thought I would show you some of the before and during photos of this process, because I have to tell you, when I look at what the room used to look like before and what it is now, I'm kind of amazed. A couple years ago, we moved into an older home that we were planning on doing some work on. Originally, we had thought about building a brand new house, but long story short, we watched too much HGTV and thought that we could buy an older, cheaper house and update it to look just like the Property Brothers would do. All we have really done up until this point was pretty much get the upstairs finished besides the bathrooms. We repainted all the walls, we repainted all the trim white and the doors, we put in a beautiful dark laminate floor, and then we kind of just stalled out. Well, back in probably March, my husband decided it was time to get going. So we started on I guess maybe the living room you would have called it. We hadn't used it the whole time we've been in the house because it was just full of flooring boxes. It was kind of dark and just not very inviting. Before we bought the house, the original owners had removed the chimney and the fireplace, but they had left the whole brick fireplace wall, and it was just so dark and overwhelming. The mortar in it was like almost black, and with the room only having one patio door, it just made it so much darker. Another thing that we didn't like in the room was the paneling on the walls. Again, it just added to just how dark the room was. So our mission starting in March was to turn this dark, gloomy, kind of outdated room into a beautiful, bright new library. I love to read. I work in an elementary school in the library, and I'd always wanted just my own area to just sit and read. The first thing we had to do was start working on this brick wall. The bookshelves that we found from IKEA were like a ½ an inch too tall to just be set on the hearth of the fireplace. So we had to spend, or I guess my husband had to spend, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears tearing out the hearth. Once the hearth was removed and everything was cleaned up, my husband started re-bricking over the hole where the fireplace had been before. And I have to say, I think he did a pretty darn good job. Next up was removing the paneling from the walls. We did think briefly about just leaving it on the walls and painting it white, but then we decided to tear it down. And it was actually glued and stapled, so it was quite a job to make it look decent in the end. Next up, we tore out the old carpet so that we could cover that cement floor with some laminate. But before the laminate could go down, we had to do all of the painting. The biggest part of painting this room was getting that brick wall ready. We decided, since it was going to be mostly covered up, to just paint the brick wall the same color as the other walls in the room, which, if you're interested, is water chestnut from Glidden. But what we did, we primed the brick walls and then we painted all the walls in the room. And in some of the pictures you'll see that it's still white where the paneling is, and that's because we had to do a lot of repair work, and that part was just slower. We had to let I don't know what that paste is, we kept having to let it dry and then resanding it and let it dry. But you can see here in the end, once the brick wall was painted and the walls around it, it was already starting to brighten up. Shortly after moving into the house, we bought some laminate flooring from Sam's Club to pretty much redo all of the flooring in the house. We chose this dark, gorgeous color. It is called Brazilian Coffee, and it is by Select Surfaces. I have to say, this laminate for the price seemed to be a killer deal. It's super thick, it's gorgeous, it has like a hand scrape texture to it, and we've really liked it upstairs so far. Something different that we had to do downstairs versus upstairs was because the laminate was going to be on a concrete floor in this case, we did have to put down a protective insulating barrier between the concrete and the laminate. So that's that kind of black paper you see underneath the flooring in some of the pictures. After the flooring was all down, we could get started on the baseboards. Because we couldn't use the nail gun on the brick wall, we did have to just glue those on and wait a few days to be able to do the sidewalls. These baseboards were from Lowe's, and they are just primed white baseboards, and I believe they're about 5 inches tall. Once the baseboards were down, it was time to start filling up the room. The first thing we bought was a rug from Walmart. I wanted the accent color in the room to be like a aqua, kind of a teal blue, and I found this and thought it looked nice. Next, we got a sofa recliner from Sam's Club, and above that on the wall are my lamps that as soon as I saw them, I just knew that those had to be in my library. The previous owners had left this electric fireplace, so we decided to mount that on the wall opposite the couch, right below the TV. They aren't real flames, but it does put out heat and has a fan. So in the winter, when this is one of our colder rooms, that will probably help keep it cozy. In this photo, I am just enjoying sitting down for the first time in my room reading a book. Once we got the couch in and the TV up on the wall, we kind of were at a standstill for a while. We were waiting on our IKEA shipment, which contained our bookshelves and our desks. We ordered for this room 4 of the Liatorp bookshelves with doors, and our house doesn't have a lot of storage, so we really liked how each of these bookshelves had a place at the bottom where we could hide stuff, basically. We're going to be putting like photo albums and games and just some miscellaneous stuff that we usually have in our office. For our computer desks, we chose to order 2 of the Liatorp desks in white, and that was just so it matched the bookshelves. They have the same doors, and we have put the 2 back to back there against the wall. The night after this was all finished, I had to stay up extra late and start putting books into my shelves. I'm still not done yet, but it was definitely fun looking through some of my favorite books and getting them put out where I can see them now. It's still a work in progress, but when I look at these before and currently photos of the room, I think it's amazing how that dark, kind of outdated room is being transformed into my bright, new, beautiful library. There are some things that we still have to get done. We're looking for a side table, a coffee table. We need artwork, but that will all come in time, and who knows, maybe I'll do a little update video later. I hope you enjoyed watching today, friends. If you did, please give me a thumbs up below. I always enjoy comments. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them for you if I can. Thanks so much. I hope you're having a great day. Bye-bye.